What equipment is needed to start a podcast? Good question, especially if you're getting ready to launch your business podcast. I'm Nic Natarella, and we are going to go over that in just a second. You know, a lot of people do have questions about the technology involved. A lot of questions about technology. You can spend a ton of money on equipment. There are microphones out there that cost thousands of dollars. Don't think you need those for a podcast. I'm going to cut through the confusion and show you how you could possibly get started for free. How about that? Coming up next. By the end of this video, you won't have anything standing in your way. You will be able to start making podcast episodes this afternoon. And the oh my gosh secret to 10x your results right out of the box. Let's go. Well, a podcast equipment can be very, very, very compact and portable. So depending on the format of what you're going for, let's say if you're doing like an interview type of thing, or even just one where you're going to do all the talking, especially for a business podcast, that would not be unheard of. That could be something easily achieved by just speaking into your smartphone. You could easily take that, record it on the smartphone, record it on the fly, in the back of a car or while you're driving or something like that, just talk into it. I wouldn't do it while you're working out. That might be a little, it might, I don't know how weird it would be to like talk about investment strategies while you're, sucking wind or something like that. I don't know how good you want to do that. But it's very portable. You can take it anywhere, even if you're on vacation and you're inspired to knock out an episode while you're on vacation. I don't know if the people who you're vacationing with are going to appreciate you all of a sudden doing work. You're on vacation. Just write it down and record it later. But it could be very, very portable. There are small recorders that are handheld, great quality, great sound quality. I know a lot of people who actually use them as backup microphones, and that's a whole other story. Backups to backups is the best you can do with audio. But I've got one of them right over my head right now. Any one of those would be a really good, you saw it. It's about that big. Fits in a pocket, no problem. It'll definitely fit in your suitcase. You can take it with you, and if you're so inspired to do something on the fly, or maybe even an interview or something that hits you that you've got to get recorded, there you go. You've got a really high quality microphone and recorder in your pocket. Once you've got all this content done, you're going to need to edit it down. There are going to be some flubs, there are going to be some mistakes, maybe even some stuff that you really didn't need to cover, or maybe you can chop it up into 2 separate episodes if you just keep going with it. There's a whole bunch of different ways, but suffice it to say, you're probably going to need to do some editing. There may even be some background noise that you're going to have to get rid of, either wind blowing or something like that you really don't want in the background, a big constant distraction. Any type of editing software will probably do that for you. There's some higher end ones that will certainly help out. You probably have an editor on your phone, probably have an editor already loaded on your computer. You can use any one of those or step up into a higher one. There's one that seems to be the industry standard, and that name is Audacity. Audacity is a program that a lot of people use. It's free, it's open source. They have used it for years. I made the mistake of jumping into Audacity late in the game. I had already been using Adobe Audition. That's a $20 a month subscription, by the way, through Adobe. I'd been using Adobe Audition for so long. There were some things in Audacity that were different and opposite. And that just drove me nuts. I could not get my flow down, so I didn't bother with it. But probably 99% of my friends have Audacity installed on their computers right now. And I'm talking people who like edit radio commercials and podcasts and audiobooks for a living. A lot of them have Audacity. Not a bad place to start. Plus, it gets you into multi-track editing. The more you can expose yourself to multi-track editing, let's say if you want to step up to video, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that's going to help you in the long run to be familiar with multi-track editing. And again, like I said, Audacity's free. There is another version that you can use. It's a little bit of a backward way to get into it, but one of my favorite overall programs is DaVinci Resolve by Blackmagic Design. You can record an audio podcast in DaVinci Resolve, but it's not as straightforward as with some of these other audio design programs. It's less than a workaround, but not a direct shot. But it can be done with DaVinci Resolve, which is more of a video editing program. That's the second time I've mentioned video in this audio episode. Because that's coming. Don't worry. So if you and a friend are maybe thinking about doing a podcast, Like if you're going to do a tag team thing, show them this episode so you two can be on the same page. And then when it comes to actually doing things, two will obviously work better together than just one if you're by yourself and nobody's there to prompt you on. So share this episode with whoever you're talking to about your podcast. Earlier, I promised you the oh my gosh secret that's going to 10x your results, whether it be your YouTube channel or your podcast, especially with your podcast. If you're recording your podcast, record it in video. Set up a camera, set up some lights. You might not have to get too fancy with it, probably just film during the day. But if you film it in video, peel it off, and you've got your podcast. Keep the video as is, edit it just like you would edit your podcast, and now all of a sudden, you've got a YouTube channel. Those two together, plus, if you take the audio and transcribe it, and most editors will do that for you, quite frankly. You'll have to correct some spelling every once in a while. Not once have they gotten my name right. But once it's transcribed, there's your blog post. You've got your YouTube channel, your podcast, and your blog post all SEO'd correctly. Everything falls into place with one click. Record in video, and you blow the doors open. And again, all the stuff that we've talked about up to this point still applies. The camera, use your smartphone. Microphones, could get a little ugly using your smartphone, but I guarantee you'll learn the editing process if you use your smartphone for audio and dump it into DaVinci Resolve. Oh, did I give away my other secret? Yes, I'm a big DaVinci Resolve fan. I use it for just about everything in my workflow. Whether it's video or audio, I use DaVinci Resolve a lot. And I can't recommend any more than DaVinci Resolve. Here's the kicker. It is a Hollywood level editor, and you can get a very robust version for free. This is not a stripped down version that leaves you wanting for a whole bunch of features. I can think of one feature that you might want, but there's a simple workaround for it on the internet. In DaVinci Resolve, you can only mix down to a waveform. If you get the studio version, you can mix down to an MP3. But other than that, you really don't need anything else. And again, mixing from WAV to an MP3, that you can do online for free. That's no biggie. It's just one extra step. So if you really, really, really want to get started for free in YouTube and your podcast, go with DaVinci Resolve. You really can't make a mistake there. Now, if you do want to step up to the paid version of DaVinci Resolve, it's a one-time for only $295, and you get all the bells and whistles. I'm telling you, it's pretty powerful, and that's not a bad price. Compared to a subscription, you're going to pay more than that in just a year, in just 6 months, quite frankly. So really consider DaVinci Resolve. Now, one of the coolest things that you can do right now, I want to give you something called engaging your audience. The 3 top secrets to skyrocket your podcast success. These seem like common sense. They really do. But unfortunately, not a lot of people do it. It's how to connect with your audience in such a way that not only do they become raving fans, but you turn raving fans into customers. So click the link below, get your copy of Engaging Your Audience right now, and set yourself up for success that a lot of people aren't using. And it's very obvious. As soon as you know the first secret, you're like, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, and I guarantee you, your first episode you did it. I know I did. Learn these techniques, learn these tricks, and set yourself up for success. Click below right now. I'm Nic Natarella. Thank you for watching.